Ooh, so the fabulous Chi Ali and VladTV. For those who don't know who Chi Ali is, Chi Ali was a child rap sensation, I believe, during the late 80s to early 90s. Early 90s, I believe. Early 90s. I was born in 93, so my first time hearing about Chi Ali was on Ludacris' track when he said, "I'm young, wild, and strapped like Chi Ali." But anyway, Chi Ali was a child rap sensation. Ultimately, later in his life, he started to get into the streets, and he ultimately he killed his baby mother's brother and was sentenced to 12, well, he did 12 years out of 14 years after being charged with manslaughter, right? So I think he recently got out of prison in like 2012, 2013, something like that. And he's been doing interviews. He already did one interview with VladTV before, and Vlad talked about the murder and talked about the events that led up to it and what happened afterwards, right? I'm not mad at Vlad for doing that. Everybody that interviews Chi Ali is going to talk about the murder because it's a big part of his story. It's a part of who he is and a part of, you know, what's been going on with him for the last, 20 years, right? So you can ask about that. It's no problem, right? So Vlad got him up there once again. He brought him back up here recently. And see, let me just say this, right? I'm going to preface my statements by saying I watch a lot of VladTV interviews. I enjoy a lot of VladTV interviews. I have found a lot of the interviews insightful. I've learned a lot of information by the talks that he has with certain guests, certain individuals. I found myself entertained by the interviews with Lord Jamar, with Godfrey. I love the Eddie Griffin interview. I love Trey D's interviews. It's a lot of insightful interviews that he does, and I really like those interviews then, right? But then there's other times where Vlad does interviews and he crosses the line. He oversteps his boundaries with certain things, and I don't like it, and I cringe at it, right? So specifically, right, he just did an interview. He breaks up these interviews in certain parts. And he names this recent interview, this recent clip with Chi Ali. He names the clip, Chi Ali on what it would take for him to murder someone again, right? And I'm like, what the hell? That title is ridiculous. First of all, that's a ridiculous title. That lets me know, Vlad, you asked him something, you tried to create a scenario for him to ponder when he would take somebody's life again. And why the hell would you want to know when the next time he would probably take someone's life? Why would you ask a person who's already just recently got out of prison, who wants nothing to do with law enforcement at all, who wants to live a clean lifestyle, why would you ask him a question like that? Like, why would you even ask him a question like that? But let's go into the exact question, because that was only the name of the video, the name of the clip. He asked Chi Ali, as someone who committed a murder, what would be a situation that you would have to be put in for you to do it again? So Vlad, why the hell would you ask him, when would you do it again? What would be the next time you would take someone's life? Like, I don't understand the phrase, like him asking that question. I don't know what he thought he was going to get out of that question. I don't know if he thought it was going to make his interview any better. I have no idea. But I'm telling y'all, if Vlad listening, Vlad, that was a terrible idea to ask that man. Ask that specific man that question. Like, again, it's like he giving the police ammo to have Chi Ali have a target on Chi Ali's back, even though they already got a target on his back anyway because of what he did. But it's like, what? Why would you ask him? Why would you even frame the question like that? And then this is what gets me, right? Because he keeps trying to get Chi Ali to talk about it and trying to create scenarios after Chi Ali is trying to shoot it down at certain points. And I'm not going to even lie, right? Chi Ali could have cut the interview short. You know, he's a grown man. He's doing the interview. He's making himself a part of the interview. But still, all in all, man, it's some things Vlad could not say. It's some ways he could not frame these questions to not even try to trip Chi Ali up, right? He asked him, what did he say? He said, what do you need? Like, he said, what did he say? He asked him, what will push you over the edge to do it again? And Chi Ali responds, I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to be killed. If you don't have a gun, you can't kill nobody. He like, I don't got no guns. I don't own no guns. You don't got a gun, you can't kill nobody. And Vlad said, but you can have a knife and you can stab somebody. And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? Why are you steady trying to create scenarios for him to kill someone? Like, you trying to ask him, at first Chi Ali answers, if someone does something to my kids, of course I would do something then. That's every man's answer and every man's response, of course. But then, like, he starts to think about it, and I guess he's like, Vlad, I don't want to kill nobody. I really don't want to be put in a position to do that. And Vlad is steady trying to create scenarios. But if you have a knife, you could still stab somebody. I'm like, why are you infatuated with talking about murder with this man? I'm sure that's the last thing he really, really wants to be infatuated with. That's a part of his life. I'm sure he regrets tremendously, because at the end of the day, he killed someone who's attached to his child. So I'm sure he doesn't want to even, I'm sure he regrets that completely and doesn't even want to envision murder at all. And here you are. Of course, he knows you're going to talk about it, but you're trying to create scenarios where it could possibly happen again. And I'm like, that's not a good idea. And he says also, is there anything that someone can say to you that make you pull out a gun and shoot him? He says, I don't own a gun. And then Vlad said, if there was a gun right there on this stool right here, Vlad said this. If there was a gun, Vlad heard him say, I don't own a gun, so I wouldn't have that problem. I wouldn't shoot nobody. And Vlad says, if there was a gun right there on that stool, basically trying to ask him, would you shoot somebody if a gun was right here accessible for you to do it? And somebody made you mad enough, what would be something to make you so mad that you would grab this gun on the stool and shoot him? I'm like, Vlad, come on, bro. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. You gotta stop, man. It's certain times, again, I appreciate Vlad's interviews for certain things. I appreciate the insightful interviews when I find out the history of the origins of a person. I like Michael Jai White's interview when he was talking about his origins into martial arts. I like certain interviews when he could talk about a person's childhood and how they came up in the game, whether it be entertainment, or acting, sports, whether it be rapping or whatever. When they talk about their origins and their life and things that they learned along the way, things about how to advance their income or how to triple their income, I love those type of talks. But when he gets to talking about all these murders and it's like, bro, you trying to incriminate this man, bro. Don't do that to him, man. Don't do that to him. Why are you asking him these type of questions? Like, I don't know, man. I don't think he thought that through. And why are you trying to create these questions for him to get in trouble? Again, there are certain things that Vlad does that I don't like. For example, when he interviews the dude No Plug, who allegedly killed Bankroll Fresh. Bankroll Fresh got family and friends who probably watch VladTV, and they were disgusted by that. You got this dude on here talking about Bankroll Fresh's murder. He's sitting up there talking about it. I'm like, what do you think why did you interview him? Just because you thought it was going to get a lot of clicks and a lot of views? Like, what good did you possibly think interviewing the guy who killed Bankroll Fresh? What good did you think was going to come of that? Okay, I guess he felt like I guess he felt like there is two sides to every story, but I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, you don't interview that man that killed him. Come on, man. Vlad, you trying to incite a war to happen at that point. They already probably on site with him anyway, but it's like, it's going to instigate some more beef, some more violence, possibly some more blood to be shed. I'm like, come on, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Same thing when he's trying to instigate that situation with D.L. Hughley and Terry Crews. And he kept trying to get other individuals to say that Terry was gay because he felt that. He wanted to get other people that he interviewed to say that Terry was gay so that he could have people to back him up. And ultimately, it would be a crazy scenario because you got black men against each other. I'm like, come on, bro. Vlad, don't do that. Vlad, I appreciate your interviews. I like a lot of the interviews that you do. But there are certain times when I'll be like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Get up out of here, man. Get up out of here. That's clowned out, man. He trying to create scenarios with Chi Ali could possibly kill somebody again. And why would you do that? Why? This interview would be popping without that. And Chi Ali is already talking about all the other illegal stuff he was doing while he was on the run, getting fake social security numbers, getting fake birth certificates. He doing it all. He telling about how he did it all, right? I mean, he didn't give up the hospital that did it or didn't give up people's names or nothing like that, but he's already giving you that information. That's enough. That ain't enough, Vlad. Like, okay, I want to see when he would do this again. I want to know if he really would do this again. Is he really a killer? I guess Vlad trying to see. I want to know if he's really a killer, I guess. I want to know what will push him over the edge to do it again. Get out of here, bro. That ain't cool. Vlad, stop it. Stop it. Chi Ali, don't even fall into them questions no more. Tell him you ain't trying to kill nobody. You ain't thinking about it. End the questions. Let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about he should have talked about how the interview clips are not done. But most of the interview, he could have talked about the murder, but he should have spent it talking about how he rehabilitated himself, I guess what he learned about it, how was life in prison and how he didn't fool with prison and how he, he was probably encouraging other men to never make the same mistake he did, and talked about how he changed, how he's growing as a man and what he's doing now. And Vlad said he wants to stay on the murder. I'm like, come on, man. Not a good look, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop y'all comments in the comment section below. We can have dialogue about it. Peace.